Hey guys, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for joining the fishing stream number 2. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Okay, good. What's up, Nicholas? Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I'm gonna do mostly sound mixing and like the polishing final touches for the fishing stuff. And this is fun because it's a lot of fast wins, easy wins really fast, and it makes it more satisfying. Good, glad you guys can hear me. Hey Jeff, thanks for joining in. Yeah, thanks everyone, this is awesome. Ergo Riley, live just in time for this game jam to start. Is there a game jam? Maybe a game jam I don't know about. We're not doing a game jam, but you can hang out and I'll try to answer questions at the end and everything. I've done game jams before, but they're like really like small unofficial ones. I do love playing game jam games though. Good to see you guys. We got 22 people. This is awesome. Hey, Kaylin the Zola, thanks for coming. Oh wait, Donkey's game jam just started? Are you serious? I gotta check that out. Really? Oh, Big Mo. Oh, he did one a year ago. Oh my gosh. So we just started a new one for what, 2025? Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, that's wild. That would be pretty cool actually. Submission closes in 9 days. Let me see if you guys can see this. Wait, is it? Oh, and Brackies is doing another one. That's awesome. I didn't know there was like a giant calendar on Itch. That's awesome. That's so cool. Hi, I am so excited and patient for We Harvest Shadows. Thank you. Thanks for the support. Yeah, we might have people on the stream that maybe they're not so much interested in game development, but they're interested in the game, which is awesome. And I try not to do big spoilers. I can't totally avoid it. I mostly try to focus on gameplay mechanics and environment stuff. But you might like, because I do all the testing in our test scene, there's a lot of stuff in there that might be a small spoiler, but nothing huge. Yeah, I wanted to, before I just get into Unity, I did want to talk about, I want to start these streams with something that inspired me, and I'll share it with you guys as a link, something you can watch later. While I had to fix something in my office, like physically in my office, and so I put on a talk while I was working here in this room, and I found the greatest talk from the director at Mobius, and they made Outer Wilds, one of my favorite games. And it was all about how to add curiosity to your games, because those are the games I love. I love the story-driven aspects. I love exploring and discovering things, and Outer Wilds takes that to the next level. You know, it's also one of the reasons I love Zelda games. I love story-driven first-person games like The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, What Remains of Edith Finch, Return of the Obra Dinn, all those kind of games. And I wrote a ton of notes down just so I can apply it for my game, especially near the end of We Harvest Shadows. There'll be lots of exploration in it. And here's something I really liked from it.
Friend. Except you can't believe number 6. Quest markers are the first evil.
Yeah, he said, quest markers are your friend. He's like, nope, don't believe it. And that's something I've noticed is
I'm sure I'm not the only one who finds screens like this just like panic-inducing.
I can see the draw of like AAA games being like, they don't want people to think too hard, but if you can tie like that sense of discovery to the story, then it gets them invested. Yeah, that's what he said. It's easier for players to get invested when understanding the story is a requirement for advancing the story. And he did, like, there are actually in Zelda, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, there are like, you do get map markers, but what's so cool is it doesn't tell you, still have to read, you have to think. That's the whole reason why I designed the map system the way I did in We Harvest Shadows. It's very intentional that there's never like a waypoint marker saying where to go and also where you are. And I think maybe that's from me playing certain games where I get more invested when I don't know the exact like area I need to be in, and it makes me pay more attention to the environment instead of just go from A to B following. And, you know, like, I love Skyrim, but, like, you know, you go to that little marker. Like, you don't even think. You don't explore. You just fast travel, and that can take out the magic of it sometimes. Anyway, with Zelda, it will do a map marker, but it's only to the person that gave you the quest. Isn't that interesting? I didn't really think about it like that. And, like, it'll give you hints, like in Red, being, like, the left eye of Skull Lake and stuff like that. So it's, you know, you're not going in blind, but I thought that was great. Oh, let me give you guys the talk. I love this talk. I listened to it almost twice. I loved it so much. So there, you should see that in the chat. Impulse says, I stopped playing Skyrim because I just got lost and the compass was confusing. You just line up the little compass with the waypoint marker, then you go straight. But the mountains, that's probably like where the difficulty comes in, is like the mountains get kind of intense. And you're like, how do I get around this mountain? And I would just be stubborn and just go straight up it, and causes all these issues. Outer Wilds is very much on my list to play still. Just hard to get excited about playing games lately. I always feel like I could spend the time on dev work. I totally understand that. But to be fair, Outer Wilds is definitely worth playing. It does this thing for like... There's like kind of an emotional connection with the characters, and this is what kind of threw me off at the beginning. But you have to approach the game like it's like a scientific endeavor, and you're curious just because you're curious. You want to find out why things are happening the way they are in a very scientific manner. And then it does get more emotional after that. I think that was the thing I realized, is it's like there's not this huge pull at the beginning because of characters. It's all like scientific driven, if that makes sense. Your save is stuck in the mountains. Lambone says Outer Wilds is so special. It is. It's one of my favorite games, and I played it with my kids, and they loved it too. My daughter, she loves giving me stuff to hang up in my office, and she did this of the astronaut. Can you guys see that? Let's explore. I love getting it. Yeah, my daughter loves Outer Wilds. Okay. I thought it'd be interesting to share a couple of the games that came out this week. I've been playing. Dream Core just came out. I love the demo. I just bought it and played it. And again, it's like liminal space. There's not really any enemies. It's just vibes, which is my favorite thing. And this game, I think it was made in Unity, which, even though it does look like Unreal Engine at times. I love like the film graininess. It was made by basically, I think, just two devs in Argentina. Had like over 100,000 wish lists, and seems to be doing well. It's very like niche and exploration driven, so it's going on. It looks great. And then I also played David Zymanski. I've been playing his games forever. He made I never played it, but I don't know if you guys have heard of Condemned. I think it's called that. It was like, maybe it was on Dreamcast. I could be wrong. Condemned is like criminal origin crime story, first person, very scary. And he made this new game called Butcher's Creek, and it is so good. It is like it's actually like horrific. It is super terrifying. Like some of his scarier games are kind of goofy, like Squirrel Stapler. This one is just really dark, but the vibes are so good. People should play it just for like the very first part anyway, very first part of the game, because you're just in the woods at night with this crazy grain VHS aesthetic, and then you're just seeing cars drive by in the forest, and like the shadows are like lighting up the woods and everything from the cars driving by. It's really cool. That's what I've been playing. I was thinking of, I'm gonna just do some work. I'll show you guys the fishing system where it's at now, and then at the end I'll answer questions for a bit. If you don't know, I'm making a farming horror game called We Harvest Shadows. It's number 123 of the top most wishlisted games on Steam, which is a huge honor. So I'm working hard to give it the polish. That's what I've learned, is like to make it feel, a game doesn't come together until like the last 10 minutes of development practically, and it's all those little things put together, like little animation touches, and mostly my big theory is like sound design has the biggest impact of all. And if you're not doing those like really small touches, make sure like just the casting of the rod has the right treble and bass levels. It doesn't have that. It needs to have that satisfying click. It needs to have that satisfying splash when the bobber hits the water. Like all those things. It's so much work. But doing that makes it basically come together. And my big theory is that like I don't think gamers care too much about, oh, it needs to have 4K realistic textures. It needs to be motion captured, first person perspective stuff. It mostly, my theory is that it's more sound than anything. That's what makes something satisfying. So we're going to work on some sound today. Thanks, Native Unknown, for playing the demo. I'm glad you liked it. And, you know, and it's not just me. I have a lot to thank for I have a programmer contractor. His name's Connor. He's in Australia and he does so much work on the game. He's really helped me with the scripting, which I'm really weak at. I'm just not very good at programming and getting all the systems working together. So it's basically us two for the most part. So yeah. Now what? My dirty confession over here. I haven't been playing hardly any new games. I actually got an RCA converter. I've been playing my old PS1 games. Just a very different vibe. That's awesome. And don't like beat yourself up about sometimes, I don't know. I have been burnt out on games and game development. So I don't play every game, and that's okay. I try to play like the most important games that I really like. And like Outer Wilds was one of them. I really like David Zymanski games. I always play his new stuff when they come out. I love like the chill, relaxing, like liminal space walking sim games. So I bought Dream Core this week. But I don't play many of the AAA games. I play the games that inspire me, especially now that this is my full-time job pretty much. Matthew Blaster, you go live. I told you. That's my brother, Matt. He helped a lot testing We Harvest Shadows. I told you. I texted you. But thanks for watching, bro. All right, let's do some sound mixing. I'll try to check chat when I can. Let me show you, let's do before and after, because I'd love to show you where it's at now, and we're going to make a bunch of small improvements. Okay, can you guys see everything? We'll do a bunch of small improvements, and I bet that will make it feel really good. Oh, there's going to be rain. I got to change. We have it in the test scene, it always starts raining. Need to hear so we can feel the sounds better without rain splashing everywhere. Oh, you can hear our fish bouncing. Get out of here, kitty. We added like the man yelling when the fish jumps around. Okay, that's looking great. Oh, Connor changed kind of like the animation or like the position of holding the rod. That looks awesome. Okay, let's see where we're at now. We're at like a good spot, and I'm still undecided on like what we're gonna do for like the fishing mini game. Someone mentioned like they love Red Dead 2 fishing, and I played Red Dead 2 and I love it, but I never did fishing in that game. Matthew, just turn on the bell on YouTube. Oh, okay. Oh. I'm hearing the reel. Okay. So let's turn off all the rain. So you can hear, I'm gonna turn up my volume. So I don't hear the splash yet. We'll have to fix that. I think that's like a car screech placeholder. We want it to be a fishing reel. Oh, it was bobbing. I should have caught a fish. And then oh, that was easy. That was like a little like drink, like little splash when it came out. I want it to be like this, like a giant bucket of water came out of the water. So we'll get that. What is the sound for this? Okay, it's just like the axe. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. And so we're going to have a different sound loop for the fishing line reeling in and the fishing line being pulled. I'll have to do that. Cool. I don't know where the fish went. Oh, he's gone. Oh, we have a sound effect for when you cancel the cast. I would love to add like... Oh, that was fast. Yeah, it's kind of grating. Not so satisfying. It's very fun, though. I'm having a blast with the fishing so far. And then it's supposed to flap around, which I think they flap around mostly. We have our 2 test areas. We have normal pond, which just has the trout. And then up here, this is our giant bathtub with a different body of water. We're testing that. And the bobber like makes a weird sound when it hits like a surface before hitting the water. Come on. Yeah, come on. Oh, that kills me. We need sound effects for when the fish is flopping, not man grunts, not man yells. Can you catch a demon fish? A lot of people gave me great ideas the last stream of like incorporating the horror thing, and you know, making it a little creepy. And I have some great ideas. Fish is like, kill me. Okay, I don't think I can reach it without falling in. Okay, oh, sorry. And we have our fish cooler, so you can throw this in the trailer and get money. That's the whole like gameplay loop of the game. Okay, let's do, so now you guys have seen what it's like with just our placeholder sounds. And Connor, let's change, so I use a plugin for weather called Unistorm. And right now the default weather is raining. So let's change that. I think we want partly cloudy. That way it's not raining every time we start. Okay, you heard the original sounds. Obviously, they're placeholders. I think we're gonna make it feel really good with just the right sounds and that like satisfying. I don't even know how to describe it, but you need like good bass, you need good treble, and so when something happens, when you press a button, you feel it in the game. And usually, it's mostly sound effects that give it that satisfaction. So let's see here. So I already did one. I mostly use freesound.org, which I'm a huge fan of. That is a giant bathtub. The fish jumping the shore. How do you feel about it staying on the hook, flopping around? That was something I thought about. And I think it just flopping around, like it just comes onto the shore. Like we would have to do like special first-person animations of like holding up the fish and everything. I think this is still satisfying, and we're gonna have like some probability randomization where it's like maybe the fish flops around for a second, maybe it never flops around, maybe it flops around for 10 seconds. So it's kind of, I think that'd be fun if it's bouncing too, if you don't pick it up fast enough, then maybe it goes back in the water or something. Okay, so I did do one fishing rod cast, and this was made basically by public domain and Creative Commons sound effects from freesound.org. Which I'm a huge fan of. I think here's freesound.org. And I do buy sound effects too, but if you're not using freesound.org, then get on that. Oh, it's so amazing. I do have to usually mix it, I think, to get it ready. If you think the sounds are bad quality, some of them are, but honestly, like I'll look at credits of like big, indie games that I love, and I'm just curious who they thank and the sources they use for their games. And in Papers, Please, and Inscription, and in Return of the Obra Dinn, those are amazing indie games. And there's like a huge list of just freesound.org credits. So I think a lot of devs use freesound.org. I love it. So I just typed in things like fishing reel, and we can listen to it. I think I downloaded this one already. That one's like going really fast. But that's great. I love that one. Hopefully they don't sound too annoying looped. That's kind of a concern I have. Anyway, I think I already downloaded some of these, and I keep a list of like a spreadsheet of all the people I need to credit. So when I do all the credits the credit for my game, I don't forget anybody. Okay, so here is my sound, and actually this was You hear that? So this is complicated. I'll give you guys some trivia on audio production, something to learn. Almost every the Windows driver system that Windows uses is called WDM. And that means every sound device, microphone, speaker, it goes through Windows first, usually using Direct Sound as their API. Professional audio production companies and software and hardware, they use a totally different system of connecting software to hardware. I don't know if you guys knew that. So you probably haven't used it unless you're using Adobe software or Pro Tools. But if you're making music, or using Pro Tools and stuff, it will totally bypass Windows, and it uses something called ASIO. Anyway, that means I cannot connect the sound to OBS for streaming. It's impossible. It's always muted. So I had to do a bunch of crap to get it working. So hopefully, let me know if you can hear this, okay? I had to use a virtual patch cable, basically saying I'm going to take my speaker output and put it straight into a microphone output using a virtual cable. It's a huge headache. I do not recommend using audio hardware like an audio input USB device and trying to get it to work in the production software and trying to get it into Windows. It's really hard. But I think I got it. So tell me if you can hear this. Says it's playing. That was the sound I mixed for casting it, and I kind of wanted to give it that I was looking at videos, references of people fly fishing and stuff. They okay, it's playing good. Oh yeah, see, King he knows. ASIO is a nightmare to work around. LOL, I use the same workaround with the virtual patch cable. You know how it goes. It's great until you have to stream an OBS or record a video with it playing in the background and stuff. Anyway, I was thinking of how I was looking at videos of fishermen and how they bring it back and they just it just stops like that. It's and then the reel goes and stuff. So I adjusted the animation and I want it to be fast too. I just get, again, what makes a player satisfied is hitting a button and something happens. And when you hit a button and there's a 3-second animation and then the thing happens that you wanted to happen, the more instantaneous, the better. It gets hard because animators need to work around that. I don't know if if you've played Red Dead 2 or The Last of Us, you have these gorgeous animations, but in real life, you don't hit a button and jump immediately. There's always a build-up, which makes it feel not as non-reactive, because there needs to be build-up to I want to jump, and then the game needs to do the build-up to someone crouching and lifting off, and there's at least 1 to 2 second delay of before you actually jump. It looks realistic, but it doesn't have that same kick, that oomph. So there's always a balance of okay, there needs to be a build up of a wind up to an action, but you don't want it to take too long. And so I was trying to usually I think half a second to a second is good for a player to feel it's satisfying. So that's why I designed this sound effect to do. So you'll hear it I added some dangling. I'll solo these out. So I don't know if you heard that. There's a little bit of dangling of the hook or copper hitting the line as it's being brought back. And then here I'll solo this one. And I just looked up on freesound.org necklace chain scrape. And that sounds great. It sounds like the reel getting prepped before it launches, And then I added this jewelry clash. I think I just typed in jewelry or necklace foley, FOLEY. And then this is the good. Oh, this one actually was a purchase sound. This was a purchase sound from Audio Jungle for $2. And this one just sounds great. It's a satisfying swish. And then you hear the string leaving the reel. That one's great. So this is what it sounds like total. So that should sound pretty good, and it's really loud when the swish happens. Actually, in fact, it's kind of clipping a little bit, which should be okay. It's just barely clipping. Okay, so that was one of the fishing rod cast. Let's do the loop. Okay, let's do a new. So I use Adobe Audition. You could use, there's Audacity, which is free open source software, but I pay for this and it works for me. So let's do a looping of, I didn't mix those yet, right? Reeling in, I should call these something. Fishing line, reel in, loop. And I don't think I need it stereo. Normally in like game engines, it's best if like all sounds are mono, but if you're in a first person view, I think stereo, having like left sound and right sound, give it a little bit of that dynamic like 3D space feeling. I think that helps when it's in first person view. Hey there, Florica, thanks for coming. Crispy sound. Yeah, you want crispy sound. That is what you want if you're making sounds for a game. Okay, so yeah, which were these that I liked? Yeah, I don't think I finalized any of these. So let's do this one. So this was a free one I got off of Free Sound. And you guys should be able to hear that. So this is the reeling in, I think. I think that's a little too slow. Oh, it kind of stops right there. I think we're gonna do that, and I'm just gonna try to get it loop ready, and then I can see how it sounds. We can make this bigger. That doesn't sound too bad already. Normally, like what people do is like they'll make two of them, and then they'll fade one out and then bring in the other one, and then it's more of a gradual transition. But this is such like a consistent, constant sound of reeling that that's good. That's good enough for me. I think that's good. So I'm gonna export. And then I think here's all my sounds, but I put my sounds for the fishing and final. So I'll call this fishing rod, reel in, loop. Okay, so that one's done. I have another random sound for just the string being pulled. So I want it to change from like reeling it in, and then when you're not reeling it in, it's like the fish is just pulling it out from the reel, and so it's gonna sound differently. Is that what I had? I don't think it's that one. No. Is that the one I just had? Oh, that will be for like tension of like the rod being pulled. Sounds like a branch being pulled before it breaks. That's really important. Spinning sound. Oh, that's kind of nice. I think that's the one. I think that's it. I must have bought that one. This one was from Audio Jungle for $1 or $2. Yep, that's it. Okay. So let's put this in here. Was it this one? Maybe it was this one. I cannot remember, so we're gonna look at both. So what sounds better of like a fish pulling the line? It's gonna be more subtle than reeling, and it's gonna be quieter. But it's gonna sound faster because the fish is going nuts, you know? I'm gonna bring up the gain a bit. But that's kind of sound like it's pulling it in. I don't think that's the one. It sounds too metallic. I don't like that one. But I know I got one that I liked. So I have fishing rod. And I think that was like part of a pack. Oh, that's it. I didn't name it right. I think it's fishing rod 3. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, let's listen to these. Is that sounding good? Sounding better than that. Okay, so let's see if we can loop it. So yeah, let's start it right there. And it kind of ebbs and flows, which is okay because the fish will be pulling it. Okay, let's get... Does this one have any of that? All right, I think this is good. And you can tell it's stereo. And by stereo, I mean there's a left channel and a right channel. And remember, like in game engines, the left and right channel is determined usually with a 3D game or even a 2D game. Like it's determined by like where your player is. So you don't really want stereo sound. You want mono sound, and the game engine tells like the audio input where it is in 3D space. You know what I mean? What's up? It's my other brother, Jonathan. Oh yeah, Brack's asking about Fmod. So actually, that's something I've been talking about with a group that I might work with, and so we are probably going to use Fmod, which I've never used before. I've heard it can cause problems with consoles, but I've also heard it can make consoles way easier. I don't know where I heard those other stories. I've heard bad stories though about Fmod, especially with consoles. The other brother, you were second, so you're the other brother. I probably will use Fmod actually, and I've never used it. It's like $6,000 to use it with the logo at the front of your game. So $12,000 if you don't want the logo at the beginning part of your game. Yeah, I never considered it because I thought Unity Audio, like the demo came out and people really love the audio. They said that was like a big strength of the game, and I just use default Unity Audio stuff. But I might use Fmod, especially if I can get a partner to help pay for it. Thank you, Savash, for playing the demo. I'm glad you liked it. Oh yeah, GN newbie. Ooh, we could pitch change based on how hard the fish is fighting. Yes, that's a great idea. I love it. So because we might use Fmod, which basically, for those who don't know, Fmod is like an integrated audio system for Unity, and I think you can use it for Unreal and stuff too. And I guess it makes just doing sound stuff way easier just by like making it sound more realistic, especially like by 3D, especially in 3D games. Okay, so I wanted to have that constant, like, I don't know, that force, that velocity, the volume. So let's have it. That sounds good. That's great. Let's do that. That sounds like a fish being, that sounds like a line being pulled and not like reeling it in. I don't have any other clips. I dragged a lot of clips in here. Okay, we'll do that. That sounds like a good loop. So entire session. And we'll just call it line pulled loop. Okay, I do want to get the fish flapping around. Well, let's see what else we got. Okay, I want like a really satisfying like kerplunk of like the bobber hitting the water. It needs to be loud too. So that was, which one of these? Again, most of these are freesound.org. Oh, you hear that? That is so good. That's what I want. So I think it's almost good enough as is, but something important for your games, you got to make sure they start like the instant, like there's like, what is this, point through 35 seconds. That's like several frames, you know? And so that can make something feel like not as immediate, which makes it have that, sluggish, non-polished, crispy. It gets rid of the crispiness. So you want it like when that bobber hits the water, you want the sound effect to play immediately. That sounds good. And I'm gonna probably So it's pretty loud, but I also want this to be like really sad. Like the player like will have, you know, that's how they'll know like the bobber is in the water and ready for fish to pull on it. So I can go here and audition, and I can add probably like a hard limiter. Normally you can do like a compressor, which for those who don't know, if you only need to learn a few things in audio mixing, learn how to use a compressor. It's how you make the quiet parts louder and the louder parts quieter, so it levels out, and that can just really help something feel more full. But hard limiter is like, it's basically like a rough version of doing that, where it just like cuts it off, makes it as loud as possible, and then cuts it off. So usually people limit it to negative 0.01 decibels. And let's see how much louder it's going to be. It's actually not that much louder. If I turn it off, okay, I guess depends on the sound effect, I guess. So let's try a compressor. So you can do multi-band compressor, tighter bass, and Audition has all these nice presets, which I think like the free like open source software like Audacity does that too. Or Broadcast. Okay, but now we can do it out. So it's actually quieter, but it's more like leveled. Like the louder parts are a little quieter, which is good. So I'm gonna like raise the gain completely so we can get it closer to 0 on the meter. Let's do more. Let's do 10 extra decibels. Oh wait, is it not? Oh, is it? Oh, it's not going through that. Okay, sorry. Oh wait, no, it should be going. Oh, I was doing on the wrong. Oh, I'm embarrassed. Sorry, guys. That's why it wasn't working. I clicked on the wrong track. Duh. Let's try it now again with the hard limiter. Much better. Duh. Okay, and then we don't want it to play longer than it needs to, so I do a little fade right there. That's good. Okay, this will be Bobber Hit the Water. I could do like different sounds to randomize it, but I don't think it's that important. I try to use different random sounds, and then the sound scripts we use now, they add variance to the pitch by like 0.05 every time it plays back, and that makes it feel not so static. That's kind of, I'll show it to you guys. It's kind of a advanced thing. And I've heard that's what Fmod can help with, is like making repetitive sounds, like shooting a gun over and over and over again, not sound so repetitive. Makes it sound more true to life. Okay, fishing bobber, hit water. Okay, so we got the fishing bobber hitting the water, we got the cast, we got the fishing reel reeling in and the line being pulled. I do want to do like the slaps of like the fish hitting the surface as it flops and flounders. That one will be fun. That one I'll need like probably 4 or 5 different variations so it doesn't sound so repetitive. What else do we need? Oh, I wanted like a quick sound effect for like canceling the cast. So like if you have the bobber and you're like, I'm tired of waiting, you hit right click and then it just can't, like the bobber just immediately returns back to you, the line. So anyway, I might do that real quick. Let's see, John says, is this game coming to Xbox Series X? You know, I would love that, and I think it definitely will. I can't, there's nothing to announce, but do I want it on like all the big consoles, including maybe the new Nintendo Switch? Yes, I definitely want that, so I'll be working on that. Oh yeah, Skilly, McPhilly. Fmod is fantastic, especially for horror games. But audio was great in the demo. Thank you. Maybe it would make it better, and like maybe it'll be worth adding. But yeah, we put a lot of work into the audio playback system. Like it uses the default Unity stuff, but every time it does play a sound, it will make sure that the volume and the pitch will be like kind of modulated a little bit to make it not sound as repetitive. I think that's what Fmod helps with, just it's way faster. David, how's the publisher shop going? I can't talk about it, but I'm really excited about it. But it's taking longer than I thought. But you know what's cool about having a game that people really like and are excited about, and then you have 200,000 wish lists, is that you're the belle of the ball. So everybody reached out. I got invited to get flown out to places. I got dinner paid for when I was at Tokyo. It was crazy. So yeah, there are people interested, and I have this huge blessing of like, ooh, I can choose who I want to work with. I know a lot of indies don't have that luxury. But now it's a question of who's the right partner and who actually believes in the game and wants to make the game as good as possible. And they're not just like, ooh, I want all your money. I want to take all your sales from you, David. I want a partner that believes in the game and wants to make it the best version of itself, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm really lucky. Storper says, hey Dave, I just tuned in and noticed that you're using Survival Template Pro. Yes, huge fan of that as the base interaction system for the game. Can I ask, what are your opinions on it? How easy is it to work with? It's phenomenal. I highly recommend it. I've even seen a couple other like survival type games in Steam that are doing extremely well, and they use it as a base too. I love it. It's super good. Like it. I don't think I could make this game without it. So yeah, it's worth buying for sure. Okay, back, and I'll do a big Q&A if you guys have questions about making a game or marketing or business dev or all that stuff, the full-time indie game dev life. I love to answer your questions. I'll do a little question and answer at the end. Okay, I wanted to do like a quick like cancel cast thing, which I think I just need like kind of like a, I don't know. I think we're just gonna have like the rod just kind of like go like shake just a tiny bit, just to give it a little bit of, you know, reaction when you click cancel, and then it will play a nice satisfying sound. I guess that's a sound of like nylon rope or something. Ooh, yeah, I'll do that for sure. Something like, yeah, like the metal parts of like the lure or the bobber like kind of hit the pole and just goes clink, like just satisfying like that. Okay, yeah, let's do that real quick. So jewelry clash, I don't know what this is. Yeah, see, something like that, that's all you need, just like clink, and then maybe like maybe a sound of like string kind of moving. And in film you call that foley, F-O-L-E-Y. And it adds so much. Like if you don't add, like I added foley of like in the demo, you get out of the bed every morning. So you better believe I needed foley of like a person rubbing up against fabric and blanket. And I think that's what I literally used, was like I looked up on freesound.org fabric foley. And yeah, someone had like just moved the blanket around. So they just like next to their microphone. And it sounds great. It sounds like somebody getting out of bed. I think I might have added like a little spring, like rusty springs kind of moving with the blanket foley, and it sounds great of getting out of the bed every morning in my game. Okay, so we got jewelry clash. What was this again? I don't think I need that. Rattling chain necklace. That one's good. And then maybe something of like that the nylon rope string, and they called this sound effect was called fishing line handling. I love freesound.org. Oh wait, I gotta get rid of this hard limiter, which I had from the previous sound effect. I think we'll do that part. I don't want it too loud. I don't want it to be like jarring. It's just this subtle thing, you know. Okay, that's good. Maybe I don't need both of these. We'll find out. I think I'll do this, and I'll just increase the volume a bit. And then we need like a sound of like the nylon string kind of being pulled. Maybe like that. Oh, whoops. Maybe we don't need both these jewelry things. Oh, this is too loud. In fact, it's too like too, I don't know how to describe it. It's like right in your ear. And we can decrease that by using an equalizer. So I use parametric equalizer on everything. Make sure I'm gonna have the right track highlighted. I want to focus more on like, instead of like the treble being super high, like it's right next to your ear, I want it to feel a little more muffled. So I'm gonna bring up the bass. This is like, this is, I don't know how to describe it if you're not familiar with like audio production, but this is like the really tinny stuff. Mid-range is usually what most sounds like are in, like, where they reside. And low, like bass is like the stuff that shakes your house or like shakes the movie theater when it feel a rumble or anything. So I'm just gonna try this. Oh, see, that got rid of it. Oh man, that's crazy. I can barely hear it now. So maybe let's bring it up just a little bit. You can kind of hear it now. Oh. That sounds good. And then maybe I'll like... Yeah, I'll just turn down the volume a bit. Maybe I'll turn up the volume. I like the metal, like the dangling necklace sound, the rattling. You know what? I could actually... So in the game, every time an action is canceled, we use kind of like, again, it's like an item folly sound effect where it's like, that's like, we do that a lot. So I really think it needs that. I talked about this last stream. If you guys don't use everything, it like indexes every file on your computer, and you can search for literally fishingrod.fbx and it's there. Like, oh, I love this. It always runs in the background, but it is the best add-on ever for Windows. Highly recommend everything, and it's free. Let's see here. I was looking, what was it? I think it's just called, was it drop item? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do that. So that again, like that's used a lot in the game. Let's get rid of that. And so I think players will hear that and be like, oh, like cancel, like, oh, you dropped something. So I don't think, so I want this louder though. Oh, that sounds great. That is what I wanted. That is literally the sound I wanted. Perfect. Okay. That is how I wanted it to sound. That sounds great. Okay, so we're gonna call fishing line cancel. Fishing rod cancel. How you guys doing? Are those stock plugins for Adobe? Yeah, they all come with. This is Audition, Adobe Audition, which is their sound mixing software. But again, like a lot of developers, they use Audacity, which is free, and Audacity looks great. I mean, I've used Audacity. In Game Dev Unlocked, like we use only free open source stuff. Just, so you're not using expensive software when you're making your game for the intermediate section. And we use it for that, making the sound effects and mixing them and stuff. Native Unknown, as much love being put into this game, I'm ready to see those awards y'all about to get. That's really nice of you. I really just want people to like it when it comes out. I don't even need an award. I really don't want negative reviews on launch, and so that's one of the reasons I'm getting a publisher. I hope to get a publisher. We are actually, you know what, while we're doing this, I was gonna do a little video for Game Dev Unlocked later, but I'll just do it now since I was talking about it. Is it okay if I show you guys just a little promotion video for Game Dev Unlocked? Because this is how I'm paying the bills and how I'm paying the mortgage and supporting my family. And, hopefully I'll have, a investor soon, a backing partner for the game. But yeah, I've spent literally all my savings on We Harvest Shadows. So yeah, for those who don't know, I made a game called The First Tree in 2017. And it was this huge like blessing in my life. This is a screenshot from Unreal Engine 5 tutorial I made. So I made something called Game Dev Unlocked, which covers A to Z of all game development. And it's like, it's high quality tutorials, 160 video lessons. There's a Discord community, which is amazing. We try to help each other out. And I worked on this Game Dev Unlocked for years and years, and I just got feedback from the community. There wasn't an online course that covered everything, especially from someone who is just starting and doesn't know how to get started when it comes to art or programming. Programming is my weak spot. And it's all from the perspective of like making a game while you have a full-time job. And some people get a publisher, and that's what I'm going to try to get. But also, I was really happy back when I was doing it this way. So this is the intermediate section I was talking about, where we use free tools to do that. And then the last thing I did was people was like, how did you really make The First Tree? And so I make this game called The Last Waterfall, and I go over Steam. I show you exactly what I did using lots of asset packs, because that's what makes Game Dev Unlocked different, is like how to finish your game so that you can, you don't have to quit your job and also make some good side income. And then the big thing is I just finished this brand new update for 2024 about We Harvest Shadows and why the game did so well and the marketing principles I put into it. So we'd love for you guys to join. I'm going to close enrollment probably permanently. I think this online course has been around several years. People seem to like it, but also I'm only a one person studio, so I can't keep updating it for the rest of my life. So it's the lowest price it's ever been. It's 80% off. And I'd love if you guys join and get access to all these tutorials and resources I worked really, really hard on for years and years. And people seem to really like it. So yeah, if you want to support my fledgling studio, check out the coupon code in the description, and that would be great. Oh yeah, Jeff's one of our students. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff does great games, horror games. Love his work. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for checking that out. Okay, so we were talking about the sounds. That sounds good with canceling it. I think, let's do this, the fish slapping. Oh, and we need to do, actually the placeholder we're using of like the fish like pulling, like we needed like a water swirling sound of like the fish pulling like through the water. I think we have a placeholder that's working pretty well. But also, we needed, okay, this is really important. I kind of forgot. We need a sound effect of like, you're watching the bobber and you're waiting for the fish. And then when you do get it right, you need that satisfying, like you hooked a fish sound effect. I don't know how to describe it. And so I was actually thinking about this. I'm like, I remember who here's had like tried, do you guys remember Ocarina of Time for Nintendo 64, Zelda? The sound effect for like when you do get the fish, it's so calm and it has the music. And then like you yank back to hook the fish, and it's like this slap. And I wonder if I could find it. We're gonna find it right now. I could be misremembering it, by the way. Fishing from log for instant catch. Okay, I don't know. Let's see.
Catching a big fish in Ocarina of Time is harder than catching.
I need the sound, not. I don't want commentary. Yeah, here we go. Can you guys hear this okay? It's all on the right side for some reason. It's not my fault, it's YouTube. So I think, there he is. I didn't hear it there. It's so fast. I kind of hear like a snap, but I mostly hear the water splash being super loud. Is this gonna have commentary? Okay. fish just looks at you. I really want to add ripples too from the bobber in my game. Come on. Oh, it's not doing it. And then like the music gets all intense. This is my favorite fishing system. We would do this for like hours. My brothers are in the chat. They could tell you. Matt, Jono, you know what I'm talking about. Love the Ocarina of Time fishing system, but it is like, I guess, primitive by today's standards. Come on. I swear there's like a snap. There, you can hear it there. Oh, I love that. That's what I want, and it's so satisfying. There's like a splash at first, but then you hear this, like it's like, I don't know how to it's like a whip almost. So that's like that. Those are the kind of things that like inform me when I'm doing like, I'm not looking for like, I need a fish catching sound. That's not helpful enough. I need like, I'll look for something like whip snap or finger snap or like clap, and those are the things I usually use to mix sound effects. Yeah, it's basically like taking a belt. I don't know what you call that, but taking the belt and going whoosh. So anyway, that's the kind of sound I want to make. That's really important. We got to make that, and then we're gonna add it into the game and see how much better it feels and sounds. So I think I got a few things like face punch sound effect. It's supposed to be more of like, it's like a belt, like snapping a belt. That one's not bad. I think with some processing we can get it. It's still kind of cartoony. I don't know if that will work. That's kind of cartoony. My like kids are running and screaming. I don't know if you guys can hear them. Like a bullwhip. Yeah, exactly. Indiana Jones. Give me the whip. Oh, I actually played the beginning of Indiana Jones. Yeah, he doesn't give him the whip. You have to make that's at the very beginning. I don't think that's a spoiler. Okay, what else did I get? I might even just look right now for, let's go to free sound. Bullwhip. Oh, not a lot. That's kind of a cool, and it's public domain. I think that, like, and then, so that's the whoosh, and then it does the snap. That's pretty good, though. I like that. Let me log in real quick. So we'll download that one. We need, and it's a whip sound effect. That's what it really is. Oh, that's pretty good. It's not like the snap, though, of a whip. Like, if it was like that, that might be good. I'm going to download this one, too. Creative Commons 0. Oh, there we go. It's a whip crack. That was great. Clothes whipping. No. No. Towel whip. Nope. This is a lot of game development. I literally just go through lists of sounds for like 10 minutes at a time. I guess I should... Jeez. Okay. Oh, that's made with synths, but also it says no commercial use. Okay, this might get annoying, sorry. Oh. That sounds pretty good. That one's really good. Okay, that's it. Okay, I'll put this in our fun fish folder. Okay, we did our cancel sound effect. And then... Cool. That might be too intense of like a swish. It should be like mostly subtle, but the satisfying part should be the snap of the whip, I guess. Maybe we can just do both. Let's just see. And then, so I can cut this using R for razor, and then I'll bring down the gain so it's not as loud right there. It's still... I'm actually kind of... I don't know. I'm worried it's not going to work for fishing. That sounds still more of a hit, but I'm gonna try adding that too. And people ask me, be like, "How do you know if it's good?" And I don't know. I don't know. I guess I've played enough indie games. I just know when a sound effect isn't like living up to its potential of like giving it that satisfying. But usually, if I have to put it in like scientific terms, you want something with a punch, like a deep punch, so it's a lot of like satisfying bass, and then you need something with like a satisfying, like I guess a crack, like a whip crack, like just you want both high ends and low ends to be present, and that makes it sound professional. You need to make sure that it's silent. There's so many bad sound effects online where you'll hearing like wind in the microphone, so in this silent part right here, it'd just be noise. And that sounds bad. You need it isolated, so you need clean sound effects. That helps a lot. And yeah, and if you don't have the nice high ends and then the nice low ends, then you use a parametric equalizer to kind of even it out. And also make sure that there's not a long delay. Like it needs to be like you hit the sound effect and it plays immediately, and that makes it really feel good in the video game. I don't know, but this one, maybe we should just do it and just see how it sounds. It's just too... I think the problem is it's too much. We're gonna use parametric equalizer. It's just too much high end. So yeah, let's try that. Oh, see, now I barely hear it. Add a little bit more. Man, that really, let's just do a low. Okay, I'm gonna reset it, so let's just bring it down a bit, and then we're gonna bring this one up so it's more of like the mid-tones being brought up. Jeez, that's still like so harsh. Maybe that's good. And then tighter bass. Let's see how that sounds. That sounds pretty good. It's not as harsh, you know what I mean? And a lot of that harshness comes from high treble, high tinniness, you know what I mean? So that helps with that. Isotope has some great plugins for repairing and extracting the niceness from sounds. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. I bet it must work in Audition, I bet. Have you tried 11 labs to generate what you want? I've never heard of that. Yeah, tell me what it is. Sometimes you just listen and like your gut tells you. I know, and that Cryptid Mood's totally right. I'm picturing Gabe from The Office. There's like the funniest blooper from Gabe being like, I'd taken karate classes online, and like the other actors like just die laughing. They like cannot take it. That's one of my favorite blooper reels. Gabe from Gabe, I forgot the actor's name. He's from Silicon Valley as well. He's hilarious. He's one of my favorites. Jared from Silicon Valley. I make ambient soundscapes. Okay, I get it. That is Gabe from The Office. It's AI tool for sound generation. Yeah, AI. It's definitely like, it's this technology that's taken off so fast. I'm trying to avoid AI in this game for a lot of different reasons. But it is like, as like a reference, like as just getting you started, as like making prototypes and stuff, that sounds awesome. I might use AI more in the future, but I'm trying to do what I've always done, which is use lots of human-made assets that are usually free because of Creative Commons and public domain. But yeah, the AI stuff, I don't know. There was just a lot of controversy with Steam listings, and you have to hit a button saying you use AI in your game and stuff. I think it'd cause me issues legally, perhaps. But I think that stuff's changing. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I'll check it out. Yeah, like I play with AI stuff for fun, for sure. And man, if I can just type in and be like, I want this sound effect. I still sometimes, like, even just describing with, like English words, like I still don't know if it can like give me what I want, even if I describe it with a lot of English. Like sometimes it is like what Cryptid Moon said. It's like it's your gut, which is it's such an unsatisfying answer, but my gut is what drives all of these decisions. I know it's not useful for people learning to hear that, but I think you fine-tune your gut decision-making by just playing lots of games and making lots of small games and taking the feedback from people and distilling it into ways to change and pivot for your next game. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing this. I've been making mods for games since I was 12. I would read all the feedback. It was harsh. Sometimes it was punishing. But, you take that, you learn from it. You play the games that are popular. People, will always say, you've got to play Balatro. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll play it. And it is, like, I just see, like, man, people find this game so addictive and satisfying. And I'm like, man, what makes it addictive? And I'm like, it's analyzing every bit of it. I'm like, oh, okay, like the visual, like when you're getting like a huge, like combo in Balatro and you're seeing like the flames go up and the screen punches in with these little, screen shakes every time something good happens, and the sound effects are so satisfying. So like I'll analyze like, oh, like people love those sounds when something good happens. People associate like making an error in a game, like in Balatro, like if something bad happens, you'll hear like this error. And so I just analyze all that stuff, and it's just been doing it for years. So that's my gut, I think, talking. Yeah, that's how it works. I mean, no one can even tell it's AI if you don't disclose it. LOL, it's up to your morals. There's definitely a lot of controversy. I feel there's a right way and a wrong way to use AI. I think it's important for indies to use it responsibly. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. But I'm kind of going with Valve on this, where it's still legally gray area, but I think it's changing. Like, I don't know. Disney got a lot of flack for it, but they made like a whole print ad using AI, and it was like all like the Mickey Mouse characters around the dinner for Thanksgiving dinner and all around the table for Thanksgiving dinner. They got a lot of crap for it though, but they used it like it was Disney doing it. That's kind of intense. Okay, let's get this going. You know what? I think it's too fast. So in Audition, you can stretch it out like this. So I'm going to stretch it like 140%. That's not bad. Oh, whoops, sorry. I'm going to turn off the equalizer. It is still like so intense. Why don't we try it? Let's just see what happens. Let's turn off the... But I still think it's kind of like, it needs to be like instant. When you're catching a fish, it's got to be like really fast. Like, oh, like you hooked it, and then there's not like an animation in the game of like, oh, you are now hooking the fish. Like, I think it goes straight into like fish struggling mode. So we got to make sure it's really fast. There we go. That's pretty fast. That's pretty good. Let's just try this and we'll see how it sounds. Oh, no, we need that way longer. It is a bit like that Ocarina of Time. That snap, that bullwhip that we were talking about. Okay, so fishing rod, hook, fish, snap. Okay, enough sound mixing. Let's put this in the game. I think we're at a good spot. The sound is like an anime slapping the fish down. Delicious and dungeon style to start fillet. That's a good one. I love that. I'll be hiring a proper artist when the time comes, but in terms of wireframing, being able to realize the experience. Yeah, and I think that's the responsible way to use. I think a lot of game designers, they use it for references. I don't think there's any problem with that. I did read an interesting article from, it was a film studio, so it was about the film industry and how they fired all their concept artists for, like, you know, before you build sets or do visual effects, you have to, you need concept art to know what direction to go with, and, like, you know, the director approves the concept art before they start building everything, spending millions of dollars. And the studio was like, we'll just use AI. So they hired, like, prompt experts just to create the AI for concept art, using AI to make concept art. And it's like, we'll save so much money from the concept art division if it's all AI. So the creative director is like, fine, like, I'll try to do this. Or the film director was like, fine, I'll try to use this as a tool. So, but it was, like, frustrating for them, because it's like, okay, let's imagine, like, say, like, I don't know, they're going to try to make some kind of sci-fi film. They'd have to tell everybody, like, they'll have to tell the prompt experts, like, hey, okay, I need the sun right here, and it needs to be a sci-fi city, New War style, like Blade Runner. We need the cars to look like this style, though. And when you get that specific, it doesn't work that well. And so they ended up, I guess they ended up firing all the prompt experts and going back to concept artists. Because even though it's like, it gets you in the neighborhood, like, it would be like, oh, it can make you a sci-fi city. If you need, like, that specific direction that, like, a film director or a game director might need, it starts to lose its usefulness. But it gets you in the neighborhood fast, I would say. That's what I'm thinking of. Supermarket simulators, capsule art. Oh yeah, I saw that. People were like, is this AI? I don't know if, like, the general player, like, base notices, but yeah, I noticed that too. I've heard a lot of horror stories, a lot of work going to waste because so much of the outputted data and assets need to be so heavily reworked that it becomes inefficient. Yeah, like, for a solo dev, though, like, using it just to get in the neighborhood as a reference, I think a lot of people agree that's okay, and it can speed up production too and gives you something to work towards. But you know, I've worked, like, with a AAA studio, and all these people worked, with Ubisoft and EA, and everyone uses references. Like, they usually just Google it, though. They'll be like, I need to know what this couch should look like, and they'll just Google a picture, and that's not violating copyright because you're making a new transformative work off of just a picture. You can't just use that picture, but if you're using it as a reference, it's okay legally. But they are using references. Like, everyone uses references. Usually it's just based off real world things and not AI generated things. Yeah, and it can be useful for non-art types to communicate their idea to artists. That's great. That's totally a great use of the tool, in my opinion. Yeah, I think you guys get it. I think you understand what's at stake with it. But yeah, for We Harvest Shadows, there's absolutely no AI stuff in it. I'm just doing what I did with the first tree, which is lots of public domain, Creative Commons stuff, and my own work, of course. All right, let's add these sound effects, and then I'll probably... Yeah, man, time always goes by so fast during these streams. I want to get more stuff done, but it's fun just talking and chatting. But that's also why I probably will only do these streams once a week or once every 2 weeks or so. Because there's a lot to do. Is it audio? So Connor, my amazing programmer, he made a scriptable object, or just like this asset for like little blanks for fill in the blank sound effects, because we have 3 different fishing rods, and all 3 fishing rods use the same sound, so it all references this scriptable asset called Fishing Rod Audio Database. And so these will be used by all 3 of the different fishing rods. And the only reason we do that is just so I don't have to drag and drop sound effects to 3 different fishing rod prefabs, which isn't a big deal, but he did it just to save time, which is cool. So let's start adding stuff. Oh, first let's add all my sounds I made. I'm gonna make a new. Here's my creepy folder of horror sound effects. I won't play those. They're too scary. I will make a new fishing section. Thanks for watching, Native Unknown. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great day. Okay, so then I'll just drag. I made 6 sound effects. So pro tip, very fast sound effects. So there's basically 2 types of sound effects in Unity. There's compressed and non-compressed, or like wave files. Every time you decompress a compressed file, it takes CPU. It takes resources to decrypt it, basically, to de-encode it, to decode it and play it back, right? So the good thing to keep, like the rule of thumb is, if it's a really fast sound effect, the game will be smoother and it won't hiccup as much if they're basically using PCM, which is PCM is wave files. So it says decompress on load, but to decompress a wave file, there's no decompression happening. Like, you're just basically playing the file straight. The downside, the reason you have to choose, is because wave files take up a lot of room. That's the whole purpose of compressing these files. So it's use Vorbis, which is that's that open source MP3 type file. It's basically an MP3, just open source version. For longer, like for me, like if a sound effect is more than 5 seconds, I usually compress it. If it's not, I try to make it a .wav file, and that will just make it play smoother. So I'm just gonna go through these. The cancel one is 1.2 seconds. So that's a good one for just set it to PCM .wav. Yeah, let's do PCM on that one. It is gonna balloon my size a bit, but I am like a little worried about that, because even my demo is like 8 gigabytes large. I really try, like I optimize textures and everything. I don't know if maybe this. Also, if you do compress in Vorbis or like MP3 type stuff, sometimes it adds like a millisecond of empty space at the end of the sound effect, which makes looping it really annoying. It will always like stop for a second. I think it's a Unity bug. So let's see, is this gonna loop? See, that's a perfect loop. I have had issues where they don't do a perfect loop. So yeah, we'll do, so these, yeah, that's 2.7 seconds. I think that's fine. Maybe I try to, if it's under 3 seconds, I usually will just compress it. Oh no. Oh, okay. I saved it and I forgot there was a file hiding in my, you'll see it right here. Whoops. So I'll just open this up real fast and I can just edit it right now. I'll just highlight it, delete. There we go. Okay, and then that should, I just saved over it. That's why it was 23 seconds long. Don't want that. Audition makes these stupid little hashed files called PKF. Don't like those, so I delete it. That sounds great. Okay, should we try it? This should be much better than how it was. Cast audio, we're just gonna do one. Oh, where's my fishing sound that I added? I'm gonna lock this because I don't want to click on a file and then lose my scriptable asset, so I can drag and drop everything. So yeah, just you can lock windows so they don't change, which is nice. I do that all the time in Unity. Okay, float hit water. So we just have one version of that. I guess we take from a random list, which is nice. Hook fish audio, yeah, so that's this one. Spawn fish splash audio, that one I think I'll do later. Reel in audio, so I think that's this one. String pull, so it's this one. And then cast audio, this one I'm really excited to hear. This is gonna sound great. And then here's our cancel audio. So we got fishing rod cast, cancel, float hit water. These these are kind of too loud. Oh shoot, I have it locked, so I'm just gonna do this. I want it to be more of like a really gentle, is it dirt? Not bullet impact. Hit. Oh my gosh. It's not what I wanted. There's, is it dirt? Oh, is it just wood? Sorry, so in Survival Template Pro, we have like some default like, oh my gosh. Sorry, these are like killing your ears. Okay, soft footstep wood. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I want. So we'll just do 3 of those. That's for like when the bobber hits land instead of hits the water. Sneaky little file. Spawn fish splash. We'll do that later. I actually have I just didn't get to it, and I'm kind of, I want to get to a Q&A soon. But I do want to do some splashes. I wonder do I have splashes already in my project? Watering can. Nope, I don't. But I have a bunch. I just need to kind of go through them and make sure they're good. Water drop single. Anyway, okay. And then there was one thing I needed to do. I changed the animation to be faster. It was kind of like it took like a second to cast the bobber. So I'm excited for this. I'm gonna change, this is the prefab for our fishing rod. Connor, this is, I did adjust, this is what I tried. I got the skeleton of the rod working in Blender last stream, but then Connor helped me a ton, like getting the IK of the arms. These arms will probably replace for the final game. That's from Survival Template Pro. Anyway, okay, what did I want to do? So in our fishing system script, let's unlock this. So one of the, oh wait, is it up here? Fishing rod, it takes a bit to load because this project is gigantic. Okay, so yeah, there's a little delay before the bobber flies out, and so this will help it feel really good too. It's gonna feel much faster. So it's at 0.8 seconds. Yeah, just even like, this is where these things you don't think make a difference, but they do. So I'm gonna remove 0.3 second delay from casting for the faster animation, and that will make it feel so much better. Okay, I'm gonna hit save the prefab. All right, should we do it? Should we get drum roll? Oh, and then also the bobber was kind of not loud enough. That's actually something we should do. Where is the bobber? Fishing float. Pour water loop. I actually don't know where. Fish splash audio. So it's this one. Fishing float. Oh, and it's because, all right, and this is probably what Fmod would help me with. I still have no idea why Unity sets logarithmic roll-off as the default. I still have no idea. Eduardo says, you still use Playmaker? Yeah, I do. I love Playmaker. Mostly all the scripted event events in We Harvest Shadows. It's all Playmaker, but I am doing a lot more C#. It took me several years, but I think I can consider myself an okay programmer, at least with Unity stuff. Thanks, Nicholas. Yeah, these are the sounds. It's mostly thanks to all the people that basically donate their time and effort on freesound.org, especially as public domain. It's amazing. But yeah, if you guys use if you use Creative Commons and they require an attribution, don't forget to credit people. I always credit the people that work on that have made assets that I use in the game. Yeah, don't forget to do that. Okay, so that was the problem. I was not hearing like the bobber hitting the water at all. And it's just because Connor does almost everything right, but forgot to change this to linear roll-off. And then usually, and yeah, maybe someone could tell me in the chat, but I guess Fmod takes care of all this, makes it like more realistic. I don't have to set it manually. This is basically saying like if you're 50 units away, like the camera's 50 units away, you won't hear it at all. Logarithmic, it's like if you're not within like 10 units, it doesn't exist. You can barely hear it. I hate that that's actually, it was 500 as the max distance. So yeah, it'd be like, I just don't see the purpose of it. Like, when would you ever need logarithmic roll-off for sound? So I always set this to linear roll-off, and I usually do 1 to 50, just as like a baseline. That should fix it. Yeah, there's the fish splash audio. Oh, I'm gonna add like little fish nibbles as well. In fact, it's probably gonna be super loud because I don't want it to be too loud. Like the fish nibbling shouldn't be like right in your face, but you need to be able to hear it, and logarithmic will mean we'll never hear it. Okay, drum roll. Let's listen to this. Please be good. And hopefully this makes the fishing sound very satisfying. And maybe there's other like audio sources that were set to logarithmic. That would be bad. Oh, there's our fish screaming. I love that. Connor did that and it cracked me up. All right, let's go to our pond. We still, I didn't do like the fish slapping sound effects of like the fish jumping on the surface, like hitting the surface as it flops around. I'll do that off stream, but this gives you an idea of like what my sound mixing process is like. And it's very inexpensive. Thanks to freesound.org and Audio Jungle and Pond 5. Sound effects are usually like only a couple dollars. Okay, there's our farm dog. That's for a surprise. I won't spoil anything. Apparently your fish are the fish from SpongeBob. That's right. Okay, here we go. Please be good. Oh! Oh, it didn't. Oh, wait, what's going on? Why? We didn't change anything in the prefab. We only changed the spawn. Why would it do that? Oh, man. Cot loot does not exist. Dang it. Okay. That was a bummer. But this is so typical. We didn't change anything. I literally just changed one variable in the fishing rod. So the animator kind of got confused. So luckily I have source control. I use plastic. So I'm going to undo the changes. And we're going to try it again. Because the sound is still different. I mean, I changed the sound database using that scriptable asset. But I don't know why just saving it once would screw it up like that. The game dev's curse. Hey, Kevin. Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Kevin's asking about camera bobbing. That is literally what I'm having Connor work on tomorrow or on Monday. So yes, that has been a common request. It's very understandable. We are going to get rid of all... We're going to have the option for sure. It is like, there's a lot of bobbing. So yes, that will definitely be in the final game. Sorry for making you sick. Okay, is it going to work? See, there's a delay because I was trying to fix the delay. Actually, just the swinging is like, it's taking way too long. How long is that? It's like playing it. Okay, you hear the cancel sound effect? Oh, that's so... Oh, you could hear this, I love it hitting the water. Listen. Oh, that was so quiet. It's still quiet. I can change the volume. And we can fix this timing. I tried to fix the timing, and then I need to adjust the timing for the swing. I don't know, I feel like it's... You know what, that's probably in the code. I don't think it's playing the sound effect until it casts. We can fix that. Okay. And it needs a... Oh, did you hear the fish reeling? That's so much better. Okay, ignore the horrible timing. That's something that I'm gonna fix. But the reeling's really nice. Hear that? Okay, let's get a fish. Yeah, we need the sound effects of like the huge splash sound effect when it comes out of the water. Oh, I meant to... Okay. I'm not sure if like the bullwhip works, but it's better than it was, but that's probably gonna take some fine-tuning. I also want to do some UI. Oh. Okay, that's super loud with the splashing. But I like, you can hear the reeling. I just need to adjust levels. Like it's getting there. Like I like the sounds, but all I hear is like that water effect, which I can fix that. But you can hear it like left and right. If you're listening with headphones, you can hear the 3D space working correctly. And you can hear the reeling going. Oh man, that water splashing out, I can't hear anything. I'm like pulling it behind me. Okay, but I can hear the thread going. Okay, this is cool. I'm still... Oh, it really needs like this huge splash sound effects when you do catch the fish. Okay, it's getting there. It's hard to like... Now I gotta do the boring work of like fine-tuning it by milliseconds to make sure it's nice. But you guys got to see a little bit of my process. So I'll probably spend another hour or two just making sure the timing is correct. And I gotta change when the sound effect plays. I want it to play... If it started playing at the proper time, it'd be like... Whoosh. But it's only plays it when the bobber is cast out. I love the reeling in. The reeling in is really satisfying. And then, can we hear something when the fish... Oh, did you hear like... There's like a watering can sound. That's a placeholder. Okay, that needs work. I was unsure about that, but now playing it in the game, it's okay though. What did you guys think? Oh good, the headphones, 3D space is nice. Hello, doggy. Oh, let's I want to hear the bobber hit the ground. Oh, it went through the terrain. There. That sounds decent. I heard it once. Oh, that you could hear it there. Doggy's like, what are you doing to me? Okay. That's where I'm gonna end it. The game dev life. You saw the animation break for no reason. All the timing was off. But I mean, like, I can kind of see how it's gonna be. Like, I like those sound effects, except the bullwhip crack of catching it. Maybe it would work if it was Zelda or like, yeah, anime game. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Yeah, smack that fish. Sean Studio says, your game dev story was very inspiring to me before I even did game dev. I love the first tree. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. That means a lot to me. Woxel says, my horror game reached 50 wish lists. David, I'm coming for you to to watch your back. For you, watch your back. Keep going. Horror games, like Chris Zukowski says, he has the best marketing newsletter, and he's like, every indie dev needs to make a horror game. And the fact of the matter is, trying to market a game that is a hot genre and then trying to market a game that people usually don't want to play is like a night and day difference. It's crazy. But it's hard when like you just don't like horror games, or you just don't like making strategy RTS games or something. So I don't have an answer for that, but I tried to combine things that I love too, and that's why We Harvest Shadows. Yeah, it's like those very popular simulation type games, working simulation type games like Gas Station Simulator, Power Wash Simulator, House Flipper, and I love those games, but I'm not like addicted to them all the time. But what I do love is like story-driven games, and I love atmosphere and vibes, and so I'm adding that to something that's popular, and people love it. They do. Like, this game is bound to do exponentially better than the first tree, and the first tree changed my life. So it's crazy. Waxel says, do you have tip for getting more wish lists? Oh man, yeah, I kind of mentioned it already. I did an interview at Tokyo Game Show. Another developer had a YouTube channel and was like, hey, give us your tips. How do you make your game pop off? And the truth of it is, if it's a game that people really want in a popular subgenre, then marketing it will be so much easier than if it's not. If it's a puzzle platformer. Those games, like making a puzzle platformer is like making a game on hard mode, marketing-wise. It's super hard. You will run into obstacle after obstacle. You'll put all this work into marketing on social media, and people just won't really resonate with it. I don't know why most indie devs, they make puzzle platformers for their first game, and that's very common. And then it causes a lot of disappointment, and you feel rejected, and it really demotivates you, and that sucks. Like, part of game development is you don't give up. Like, you keep working on it even after your first game. If I would have given up after my first game, because that game did not sell very well, then I wouldn't have had the first tree, and then if I would have given up after the first tree, I wouldn't have We Harvest Shadows. So you just keep going. So yeah, just keep trying, look at the data, and in my experience, the people that are most successful trying to make a hit game that replaces their full-time job, the people that are most successful are the ones that can look at data and pivot. It's that simple. Kevin says, how's the journey with your new publisher been so far? So I don't have a publisher yet. I'm still talking to them. I'm still talking to a bunch of people, but I've basically decided on one choice, and they're my number one choice. And I can't announce anything. I'm sorry, but I've thought long and hard about this. In fact, I'm really fortunate that all these other developers that I respect and admire, they've reached out to me, and I've also asked some of them questions. I've had calls with some of them. I've had DMs with a lot of them. People, devs that have sold hundreds of thousands of copies of their own respective games. And, I asked them, I was like, should I get a publisher? I have this many wish lists, but like this game is so big and I'm out of money. I don't really know what to do. Almost all of them have said, do not get a publisher. But my gut, which is so important in my job, following my gut is telling me that we're in a new age of Steam, and that there's actually a lot of games with over 100,000 wish lists that fail financially. Like, it used to never happen. Now it happens a lot. And I don't think my game would fail if I self-published, but I think it would maybe break even, maybe because I've already spent 6 figures of like my first tree cash on this project. It's because hiring people to work on a game is so expensive. It costs a lot of money. So basically, I'm just thinking, I'm like, how can I guarantee that the game is really good and gets great reviews right out of the gate, and that I don't compromise on it? Because I know for a fact, like, if I were to like succumb to my burnout and just finish the game, even though it's not as good as it could be, there was a lot of criticism on the demo for performance, bad optimization, which I tried my best, but it's just a huge game. I need a group. I need a team. I need technical artists. I need animators. I need a senior programmer to help fix the memory streaming issue. Like, I can't. The save system is busted. Like, the save system breaks all the time for people. So if I were to self-publish and just use all my retirement money or do a Kickstarter, I'm pretty sure it will be too much. So I need a publisher. I need a team to help me, and I need the best publisher so that, like, it's a great game. And I think that's how to overcome that potential disaster of, like, the game having a ton of wish lists, but then people are like, oh, the game sucks, I'm not going to buy it on launch day. That is happening a lot nowadays. Hundreds of thousands of wish lists don't really mean much unless the game is fantastic out of the gate. That's my theory. So if I can get help to make the game really good and solid and satisfying, so people are like, this was totally worth $20, then I think the game could explode, and it could be that dream coming true that so many developers think about. So, but I'm not out of the woods yet, I guess. Sorry, that was a long-winded answer. I think I need the help of a publisher, and I need a good one, a publisher with an amazing reputation. I'm putting together a team. It's like a heist. Got to make a good game heist. So, and Wishlist is never a guarantor of sales, but it's the best thing we have. You know what I mean? So the signs point to that. If We Harvest Shadows is optimized, is satisfying, gives at least 4 to 6 hours of good gameplay, the signs point to it being a huge success, but it doesn't mean much until the game is finished, pretty much. Because people are very forgiving of a demo. The demo was a huge success. I'm coming up on 200,000 downloads of the demo alone. All the YouTubers, some of the bigger YouTubers are calling it indie game of the year, horror indie game of the year, and it's just a demo. So that's great. But they're very forgiving of a free project. So if it's going to be a $20 game, it needs, like, gamers, they're not playing as many 2024 or 2025 titles. Like, in fact, they did a survey, and it was like in 2024, only like 15% of all gamers played a game released in 2024. The vast majority of them are playing games that have released and are much older. So what does that tell you? It means, like, well, they have a huge backlog, and they're only going to play a game that is, like, the hype is so intense. They're like, they feel left out. There's FOMO. It's like, man, this game is so good. You have to play Balatro. There's the hype. That's like the spark. That's like the magic ingredient that I can't really quantify. But if the game needs to be fantastic on day one, if you're going to get into, like, reach that next level of, like, entering the zeitgeist, and that's what I want. Like, I'm setting my sights high. I want this game to be as good as possible, like, that hits that level that I never thought I could achieve, and I think I need help to do that. And people will just, if it's a $20 game, they will ignore it unless it's fantastic. This I don't want to, like, discourage anybody, because, you know, if you're making a $3 game, then that's different than me making a $20 game, you know? Like, there's tons of success stories of people making really cheap and expensive games. The Cabin Factory solo dev, that's like a horror game, so YouTubers love it. The Cabin Factory sold 100,000 units in 2 weeks, which is awesome. He only worked on the game for a year or something, and I love that game. That game is great. And it was only $3. So I'm kind of going for, like, I want to be with the bigger indies. I really want to hit that next level, and so that means getting to that $20 mark, and players don't feel cheated or shortchanged by it. It means I gotta work. There's a lot of work left to do, so that's what I'm thinking. Sorry, yeah. So we're talking about marketing. Is it cheap or easy? I don't even think the publisher will help that much with marketing. Like, maybe a little bit, but I've done all the marketing, and that's why it's kind of a weird situation, because I'm basically, I'm a proven investment. I'm asking for the money to make it and hire people, and with my 240,000 wish lists, I think it's a good sign that they'll make their money back, which means that gives me good negotiating power. So the marketing, I did the marketing, and I'm really lucky. Like, I know a lot of people don't have such a great opportunity with that, or like such a great situation, circumstance. So I put in the work. I did the trailer, I did the reveal, I did the demo, I did the announcements. I had an existing audience from the first tree. I put all that to use, and it worked. Like the Steam algorithm gives me 300 wish lists a day, which is crazy. So yeah, the marketing was done. So I'm in a unique, really privileged situation. But now to convert those wish lists, I got to make sure the game is actually really solid. I know a senior dev. I will probably, if you're subscribed to my newsletter on the WeHarvestShadows.com website, then I'll usually post job listings there. But I don't have money now. Hopefully I get money soon and I'll start hiring people. Stu Mick. I know We Harvest Shadows is marketed as a horror/building game, but I know you're secretly going to break me emotionally. That's what I hope. I wanted to lure people in with, ooh, I love, this game looks like The Forest, or I love House Flipper, and it looks like it's spooky. Like, that's the hook. That's what gets you in. But then I want people to, like, afterwards, they'll be like, that story is going to stay with me the rest of my life. And then that's hopefully where the word of mouth comes from, where they're like, you have to play this game. And I'm really excited for the story. I think people like the story a lot. Nickel Fritz, there was an early consideration of an endless mode. Yes, that will be there day one. Again, like, if I was self-publishing, I don't think I could finish the endless mode, but there will be an endless mode. And you'll be able to edit the modifiers. So I don't want to spoil too much, but there will be an endless mode, and there'll be lots of customization options. Because I know a lot of people are like, I wish it wasn't scary, and like I love the scary aspect, but I know a lot of people are like, I just want to fish without like a monster attacking me. And I'm like, okay, maybe we could do that with endless mode. Let's see here. My only known games are horror for now, are from like Greenlight days. Yeah, people, honestly, I feel like horror, a lot of people either love or hate horror, but I'm convinced horror does abnormally well compared to other genres because there's such this huge YouTuber culture. It's a subculture of gaming YouTubers that mostly just do horror games. And yeah, that's why the Cabin Factory sold 100,000 units in 2 weeks. That's why my demo was such a huge hit, was YouTubers. They're dying to find good content for their audience because they make money through ads and they need to make videos. And so you need to give them a game that people like watching. And that was my thought. I was like, okay, they love horror games. People also love like building crafting games because then they could make the playthrough their own. And what if we added a story to that? That's kind of what I'm thinking for We Harvest Shadows. And yeah, people seem to really like it so far. How do you feel about having this many wish lists? Were you able to celebrate it long enough, or did the pressure hit pretty quickly? Man, my answer won't make sense. I don't think it would make sense unless you've lived it. But I'd put so much money, and I'd gone through so much burnout, and I'd pushed myself so far that honestly, if my game did not get a lot of wish lists, it got more than I thought. But my goal was like, I'm going to get 100,000 wish lists in a year. And if I would not have hit that goal, I think I just would have quit. I just don't think I could have kept going because I knew that the idea would work. Like, I just knew it in my gut. Everything pointed to it working. So if it didn't work, that would have thrown me into a Great Depression, which I don't want to sound like entitled or anything, but I basically put like my life savings and my career into this idea. I did. So I guess I was relieved. I was like, okay, I'm not an idiot. Like, okay, my huge gamble paid off. That was kind of the thought I had right when, like, Jacksepticeye and all these big YouTubers started playing the game and liking it. I was like, okay, good. Whew. It was like relief more than excitement. I don't know. I can't tell you how many times I like taken a gamble that I thought for sure would work and it just didn't. So I was really hoping it would. So it was more like relief than like pressure. Now there's a bit more pressure, and now I'm realizing like, oh, like I need help to make sure the game is solid and that it doesn't piss off customers. Thanks, Rose, for tuning in. Yeah, I'm about to end though, but I'm just answering some questions. Horde mode and endless, that'd be cool. Thanks for being on GDU, Impulse Game Studios. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support. Indie horror has a very tight-knit community, so word of mouth is very powerful. It is, and like that's what happened. Like I was really hoping that the streamer who I really enjoy watching her streams, it's Gab Smulders, because she loves farming games like Stardew Valley, and she loves horror games. I'm like, okay, then this is perfect for someone like her. And sure enough, yeah, she found it on her own, I think from the new and trending free demo tab, and she loved the game, which was huge. Like, I'm so glad she liked it. And then the word of mouth is that guess who's dating Gab Smulders? It's Jacksepticeye. And so Jacksepticeye said on the stream, he said, I normally don't play demos, but I think Gab Smulders' real name's Evelyn. But Evelyn wouldn't shut up about it. She made me play it. So that was word of mouth. It was like, I love this demo. You have to play it. And how many people that aren't like big streamers, how many people did that happen to? Where it's like, oh, you love farming and horror. You've got to try this game. So yeah, that's really fortunate. And it is like that subculture of like horror streamers. You can see it with the game Mouthwashing. Have any of you guys played Mouthwashing? That's such a great game. Oh man, it was that. I met the devs at Tokyo Game Show. I met one of the devs, and I met the publisher, Critical Reflex. Mouthwashing, that has been such a huge hit. And it's like this $13 minimal gameplay, great story, great writing. I loved it. It's only 2 hours long. It sold 300,000 copies in 3 months. That is like we're getting close to $5-10 million. It's unbelievable. I think people love story-driven horror games, and like I saw that with the Silent Hill 2 remake was a huge success. Mouthwashing was a huge success, and I think that whole subculture they're all on YouTube. They all hang out on YouTube, which is awesome. I'm hoping We Harvest Shadows can kind of tap into that group of like people that love not experimental, but like deeper horror-driven mystery story games. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, Mouthwashing is nuts. That was a great game. Yeah, again, it wasn't $20. They priced it right. It was such a huge hit. Like all the fan art, it has sold so many copies. It's really great. I'm happy for them. When I was 19, I saw your video on making games, changed your life. That's what convinced me to start making games. I'm now 23. Keep going. That's awesome. Don't give up. Keep making games, and your first game might not sell 300,000 units like Mouthwashing, but that's okay. Just make it because you love it and keep going, and maybe you'll inspire someone like how I inspired you. That'd be really cool. Will you add audio for other languages? Probably not. Just English audio and then subtitles for everything else. But localizing your demo is a great idea, by the way. If there's developers here that are trying to make a demo, spend some money. I know it's scary, but spend some money and localize your whole game into multiple languages, and it will pay off. That was another huge reason why the demo did so well for We Harvest Shadows. Critical Reflex is awesome. Yeah, and I talked to them a lot at Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show. They're awesome. I really like them a lot. I'd like to wish you the most important thing, a mental release from the drudgery of the labor you have now by hitting once again a massive success. You're the best. Thank you. Feel my vibe. That's super nice of you. Thank you so much. Oh, Christina, Tina, she's my sister-in-law. She came to Tokyo with us. It was so much fun. I think about Japan all the time. I'm like kind of obsessed with Japan now. I really want to go back. Oh, Neebs. Yeah, I never heard of Neebs before, but he was really nice. He tweeted, I guess it's like they're two friends or two brothers. I can't remember. Neebs tweeted at me and said they played it and they really enjoyed it. That was really cool. Yaman says, would you consider a good deal with the publisher? Yes. And that's, I talked a lot about it already, but I don't think I want to do a Kickstarter, and I don't want to keep spending all my retirement funds, which is what I'm doing now. I think a publisher will just make my life better. It will make the game better, and I just want the game to be as good as possible. And so I think I do need a really trusted, talented publisher. Okay, I'm probably gonna go soon. This has been really fun though, guys. Are you putting any nice Easter eggs for those Out of Bounds channels? I love Easter eggs, but also I started the stream by talking about that talk from the Outer Wilds developers. They had a whole section in their talk, which, do I still have it up? That's such a good talk. Google curiosity-driven exploration for Outer Wilds on YouTube, and you'll find the talk. They talk about how like they were really careful to like not like hide stuff and like, oh, here's like this random object in this random corner you can never find unless you're scouring every little square inch of the game. And that's not super fun. Like pixel hunting is what you call it. And so in the Outer Wilds, like there's not like hidden stuff behind a rock. Like it tells you where there's interesting stuff just from the landscape. You'll be like, okay, there's nothing around there to look at. And the game tells you like, oh, there's stuff to explore here. And maybe that's like a noob mistake I did. Like for my first game, I'd be like, it'd be really cool if there's like this random book just in the middle of nowhere in the woods. I don't know. It's kind of fun to come like, wow, like I came across this random thing. I don't think a lot of people find this. But I don't know how fun it is to pixel hunt, especially in 3D games with giant environments and terrains. So yeah, I don't know. I'll add Easter eggs, but I'm going to try to avoid like, oh, if you go to this random corner 5 miles away from this house, you'll find this one random object. I don't know if I want to do that. Sultan says, will you be adding Arabic? Arabic is, correct me if I'm wrong, that's like right to left. And so I don't know if I could do it. Maybe if my publisher has a ton of resources and a way to make that easy, but changing all the text from right to left reading, I don't know if it's possible. I'm sorry. Maybe it could happen, but maybe not, probably not. That would be just too much for my small team. Feel my vibe. Japan has a fresh new cool visa for developers. Cool. You should check this info. I'm currently working on it. All of this thanks to Bandai Namco. That's awesome. That is really cool. Bandai Namco. They're awesome. They published Little Nightmares, Elden Ring. But are they also a developer? I'm not sure if they are. I just got back from Japan and I loved it. Hadn't heard about that visa. That's really awesome. Giant Bunny. I'm the pixel hunt nerd. The Beginner's Guide. That's one of my favorite games of all time. I love that one. Project Patty. So good. Your game is on there. Neeb's Magic Dumpster with 220,000 views. Oh, that's so cool. I love the YouTubers have been, it's like this humbling thing because my very first game in 2015, a really short walking simulator called Home is Where One Starts. I was excited whenever someone published a video, and some of the videos were so mean. Like they were so brutally they ripped me apart. They ripped apart the game. And it's because it was my first game. I tried my best, but it still had some jank. And like this one really intelligent scholarly guy, like he just spent he had the nicest production value, and he just spent 20 minutes saying why my game sucked super hard. And I was like, man, I just had this feeling like everyone's smarter than me. Everyone, if anyone just wanted to make a game, they could make a game instantly better than my work, because they're just so much better and smarter. So to be in this age now, I've been doing this almost 10 years. Actually, yeah, 2015 to 2025. 10 years. I feel like I am getting better at this, and I'm starting to really feel what makes a game good. And so to have all these YouTubers just really love the demos meant the world to me. So it's really awesome. Yeah, Nickel Fritz, the home is... Yeah, and that's, like, again, the flask. Like, it's just this pixel hunting. I don't know if that's fun. I might be going back on that decision, but I'm glad you found the flask. Thank you. And thanks so much. Nickel Fritz helped a lot with testing the game. Thank you. We Harvest Shadows. Thank you so much. Okay, I better get going. real quick, I'll finish these. Try says, hey, David, I emailed you last summer about starting a game. Unfortunately, I didn't get off the ground, but I did start YouTube. That's awesome. I'll check it out. BYU I student graduating. That's awesome. Keep going. Finish that game. I'm going to check out your channel. But make it small. Cut your game idea in half, and you'll learn a lot. King High says, that's why I'm so nervous about releasing my first game. It's almost too tempting to keep it a secret personal project. Embrace it. You're going to get beat up, but that's the life of an artist. You got to focus on the wins, because even though there was some mean YouTubers for my first game, and like it wasn't personal, they just thought the game wasn't very good and they just wanted to make an essay about it. Like now I don't take it as personally. I understand more, like, oh, a YouTuber's just trying to make content. But also, you got to focus on the wins. And there's people that really loved my first game, and it really helped them through life. And so I try to fact check myself. So the facts are that your first game will get some haters, but it will also get some fans. And that's really cool. Okay, I'm going to go. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Like I said, if you want to support me financially and support my family, there's a coupon code for Game Dev Unlocked where you get 160 really high quality videos. Worked really hard on it for several years. Love for you to join the community, and you get Discord access. Coupon code in the description in the description of the video. Thanks so much. Yeah, I gotta go, but this has been fun, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll keep working on this. The fishing is gonna be awesome. I just gotta do a lot of boring little changes, but it's getting there, and I'm glad I could show you guys it. All right, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.